I am back on the road again doing the original one-man show, the Broadway show that I did on Broadway, the show that was show of the year in Las Vegas. I play 18 characters. This show was before the movie, before the musical. You could come and see it. John, where am I going to be, John?
It looks like you only have 2 more shows left for the rest of the year and then one scheduled for next year. So that is November 15th. You're going to be in Carteret, New Jersey at the Carteret Performing Arts Center. November 16th, you're going to be in Huntington, New York, back at the Paramount Theater. And February 22nd, you're going to be back in Huntington, New York again at the Paramount Theater.
Just go to chazzpalminteri.net for tickets. That's chazzpalminteri.net. Go on my website, get tickets. I'll see you there. It'll be a night in the theater you won't forget. All right. My next guest, this guy, well, you know, they use the word icon, legend. He is, God bless him, my man. He is... well, one of his songs created a movement. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Tony Orlando. Tony, how are you?
And I'm with you, the one and only Chazz.
No, listen. It's all about you, brother, right now. Did you know that you were going to be successful in the business? Did you know it? Did you say, I'm going to do this, and that's it?
I first got the idea when I was 9 years old. I came out of the RKO movie theater on 23rd Street.
Very similar to 9 years old with me too. Yes, go ahead.
You too? Yeah. So I'm 9 years old. I saw Singing in the Rain.
In the Rain.
I remember coming, and I even got a chance to tell this to Gene Kelly. And I was coming out of the RKO theater, and it was raining, and I'm just a kid. I'm a kid, and I'm coming back. So I lived on 21st Street. The movie theater was on 23rd Street.
Right.
Not a big deal walk, right? I'm walking back and I'm kicking the puddles, singing in the rain. I came home, I said to my mother, Mom, I saw this guy twirling around a lamppost, singing in the rain, drenched, happy in love. That's what I want to do for a living. And I started by singing in the rain when I was 9, 10 years old. And I always knew, and I didn't care. I didn't care if I pulled the curtain on Broadway. I didn't care if I delivered the sandwiches and the donuts to the stars. All I cared about was being in something called show business. That's all I was ever concerned about.
That's all you cared about.
It didn't matter. To me, success was being in that industry. Never thought what happened to me would happen to me. Have a television show, 36 million viewers every Wednesday night for 4 years.
That's
Have
right.
6
How long did that show run?
4 years. 4 years.
My God, that's right.
And you know something, Chazz? That's during a time when there was no internet. There was no cable. So when people tuned into our show, the Tony Orlando and Dawn show, there was 38 million people watching every night. That's crazy numbers, right?
Those are nuts.
You're nuts, yeah. So
I mean, now the shows, they're lucky if they get 1 million people.
Yeah.
38.
It's been crazy. I'll tell you something, Chazz. Look, everyone I know, and I know you're going to say you're turning it around to talk about you, but everyone I know that knows you loves you.
Well, thank you.
And everyone that has ever worked with you sees and understands and respects your talent.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
And I think the reason why people love you is because you have what you just said. Thank you. You have a humble heart. And I'll never forget, I swear this is a true story. I met Groucho Marx at the Beverly Hills Hotel. I was working at the time with Clive Davis. And I wasn't even singing at that time. I was vice president of CBS Music at the time.
Wow.
So I meet this great actor, and I go, Mr. Marx, I'm in show business, and I just had these 2 records come out. Candida, Knocked 3 Times, and I'm thinking about going on the road. What should I remember? And I was waiting for a joke, and very seriously took the cigar out of his mouth, looked at me, and he said, never lose the ability to say thank you, kid.
Wow.
And I truly believe, between you and I, the one key that allows us to sustain our career is that humble heart.
Well, I thank you, and I think so. I think humility is very, if it comes from your heart.
Right.
That people have false humility, which is wrong, but humility is like, I'm grateful for being here. I'm grateful for you noticing my talent, and I'm grateful for watching your talent. I just think humility comes from a person who knows who he is. You know, if you know who you are, then you're safe in your own skin. If you don't know who you are, Tony, then you have to act a certain way because you want people to see you a certain way, and you're not comfortable in who you are.
That's
So I always
right.
believe that I'm comfortable in who I am, and I could tell you are too.
I am very comfortable, and I've never, I remember reading a line from a book called Notes to Myself. I was about 18 years old.
Right.
And I never forgot it. The line was this: fame isn't really fame at all. It only appears that way from a distance.
It only appears what?
It only appears that way from a distance.
Yes.
And
wow, that's beautiful.
Isn't it great?
That's
and the guy who
line.
wrote it, his name is Hugh Prather, wrote a book called Notes to Myself. And so every time I saw a marquee, that was fame. Big deal. Tomorrow morning, it comes down.
It comes down. Yes. Yes.
I carried that
agree. It's fame is fleeting. Fame is fleeting, but love lasts forever.
Absolutely.
Man. Love lasts forever, so.
And I got a chance to be close to guys like Sinatra, who became
right. And I was going to speak to you about these people that you know, because obviously, now I have to ask you, did you get a chance to meet Elvis?
Oh, sure.
You did?
Oh, God, yes. We both worked the same hotel, the Hilton Hotel in Las Vegas. I was there 12 years. And so when I would come in, it was his closing night, right? It's only the right thing to do. You go see his show.
Right.
When he would come in on my closing night, he'd come in, he'd see my show. So I got a chance to know Elvis fairly well.
Was he a nice guy?
The nicest. Knew how to say thank you.
Knew how to say thank you.
Became famous for saying thank you. Thank you very much.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And he was, I'll tell you a story about Elvis, though.
Sure, please.
Chad, this is something unbelievable. I'm still not over what this happened with me and Elvis. Check this out. Freddie Prinze commits suicide. Freddie Prinze was like my younger brother. The last lips to put on his mouth when they pulled the plug was his Tony Orlando friend. It was me, his mom, his stepfather, and my wife in that hospital room. I had never seen anybody die. So I broke down. I went through a breakdown, and I literally left the business for a year and a half. I even committed myself into a hospital thinking I was losing my mind. And when you commit yourself, you have to stay in that hospital for 72 hours. It's called a 72-hour commitment.
That's right, yeah.
Right? I come out, and I get a call from Frank Sinatra, who says to me, Tony, I want you to recuperate at my apartment at the Waldorf Towers. Stay as long as you want. I'm in Vegas, don't worry about it. I go to the Waldorf Towers. I'm recuperating in Frank Sinatra's apartment. I'm watching television. I see Red West, one of Elvis's family members, one of his buddies, start talking about Elvis. Elvis and I both shared the same publicist. Stay with me now. Frank Lieberman. I turn to Frank Lieberman and I say, Frank, Elvis is on drugs. Elvis is in trouble. He goes, what are you talking about? I said, I'm hearing everything I went through. I'm hearing Elvis is going through. Call him right now. Call him. So we had a phone number that went to Graceland that only Elvis would answer. It didn't go through anybody else. So we stopped the call at 10 o'clock. 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30, midnight. We couldn't get a hold of him. I said, Frank, let me tell you what. I'm so convinced he's in trouble. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to go over to St. Patrick's Cathedral, and I'm going to light 3 candles, one for Lisa, one for Priscilla, and one for Elvis. I'm telling you, Frank, he's in trouble. I don't know. I just felt it. I walked 1 block from Waldorf Astoria to St. Patrick's Cathedral.
Yeah.
And I light 3 candles, Chazz. 3 candles. And I say my prayer. I come back, 33rd floor, which was his apartment. I didn't have a key. I knock. My wife opens the door. She looks at me pale and says, you better sit down. They found Elvis dead this morning.
She said what?
They found Elvis dead this morning.
Oh, my God.
So I had this premonition that was so strong in me that it forced me to come out of that apartment at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll never forget it. And in those years, I was very recognizable. The TV show, all that was on the news. So I'm walking down the street. Tony, and you know how they are in New York. Hey, Tony, what's going on, man? What's going on? I'm just head down, convinced I have to say this prayer. So recently, I told this story to Priscilla. I said, Priscilla, you know, we both had Frank Lieberman as our publicist. Did you know? She goes, no, I heard this story before. She said, I heard this story before. I had told it once before to our friends. Last month, I was invited to go to Graceland to talk about my relationship and friendship with Elvis. I hadn't told these stories about Elvis and my friendship with him in a big way, never. There I was with all these fans from all over the world, Chazz. And I mean, they came from all over the world, Elvis Week at Graceland.
Yeah.
When I told that story, so help me God, there was a silence that was deafening.
Wow.
Because they knew that this friendship I had with him, that I loved him so much that I was able to know something was wrong.
I don't know what to say. I mean, that's so unbelievable. Well, that was like, you know, I think for things like that to happen, that both of you had this connection with each other. For something to happen like that, I mean.
You're right. And to make that full circle, get ready. I'm 16. Remember the song I told you, Halfway to Paradise?
Right.
It was a big hit for me. I'm on tour with Dick Clark. I'm on tour and Dick gives me a paper. And he says, here, you better read this. And it's a piece of paper, literally the kind like you would tear off part of an envelope. Not even a nice piece of paper. It says, dear Tony, you're in my jukebox, Elvis. So I look at this and I go, okay, which one of you guys did this? Come on, come on. So I throw it away. Now I'm opening night at the Hilton. In he comes. I go, let me ask you a question, Elvis. Dick Clark gives me this note. I was 16. Did you ever write a note about Halfway to Paradise being in your jukebox? He says to me, what the hell did you do with the note? I said, wait a minute. You wrote that? He goes, Tony, you just threw away at least $5. Yes, I wrote that note. I said, are you kidding me? He goes, no. And he says so I said to Priscilla, did he really write that? She goes, Tony, not only did he have it in his jukebox, he would play it on the piano and sing it for me. It was one of his favorite songs was Halfway to Paradise, written by Carole King and Jerry Goffin.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that great?
Great.
Isn't that great?
That's
that's great.
That's
man.
amazing. You know, Tony, when I used to watch the roast, you know, the Frank Sinatra roast, and when I see you were on there, and when I see you on there, I go, oh my God, I'm so envious because I got to know Frank later on, towards the end of his, the last maybe 5-6 years of his life, and I had some great times with him. But But when I saw the roast, that's when in their heyday. I mean, was that much fun as it looked?
Oh my God. Better than you could even imagine. Better when I did the Ali roast on Dean Martin.
Right, right.
And Ali said to me, whispers to me, "Hey man, let's take Howard Cosell's hairpiece off." What? He said, come on, help me take his hairpiece off.
He was always trying to do that, yeah.
And then Ruth Buzzy came on, and Ali didn't know or never heard of Ruth Buzzy, didn't know about laughing.
Right.
On comes Ruth Buzzy with that character where she's
right. I remember that.
And he says to me after she walks away, why did that old lady come up here and beat me like that? I said,
wow.
I said, that's not a real old lady. That's a character. She's a comedian. Oh man, I thought she was. It was so much fun. And one of the great things about it was Dean was always so kind. I couldn't roast him. I did one roast joke, and then finally I had to say, you know what? I can't roast. I'm too young to roast this.
Yeah, I met him, and he gave me actually those are his gloves up there. He gave me a set of his gloves and signed them. And I'm
you know how I met Frank?
How?
I'm working with Clive Davis. I have Candida knock 3 times of hits. I'm about to leave my job with him. I'm vice president now of CBS's music publishing company. And I'm about to go out and become Tony Orlando and Dawn. My father used to make all the mink coats for Jilly and all of Frank's friends. My father was a furrier.
Okay? Wow.
So I get a call from Jilly, calls me and he goes, "Tony, you got these 2 hit records. You want to meet Frank?" I said, "You're kidding me, Jilly." He goes, "No. Come to the Friars Club, get a tuxedo, make sure you put a red hanky in the tuxedo, not a white one, red." Okay. I go and I rent a tuxedo. I go to the Friars Club. I walk in and there's Frank Chazz with a microphone in his hand. And what he's doing in the green room, he's lining up every major superstar you and I ever grew up with so that they would end up in their proper seats on the dais. He starts off with Richard, Elizabeth, that's Richard Burton, Elizabeth Taylor.
Right.
In front of the line. Cagney, behind them. Sammy, behind them. Now he's going through Gregory, that's Gregory Peck.
Yeah, Gregory was a big friend of his, yeah.
Yeah, right, Gregory Peck. There's Lucy behind him. All these stars, one after the other, about to sit in their proper place. All of a sudden, I hear him say, "Tony Orlando, follow me." Now I go, "Follow me? Are you kidding?" I'm now in front of all those megastars walking towards the dais. I go, "Frank, I'm sorry, Mr. Sinatra. Why are you doing this? This is unbelievable." He goes, "Shut up, I'll tell you later. Just get up there." We walk up, and he says to Telly Savalas, "Hey, Telly, go get Tony's Orlando's card and put it right behind me," because it was a double dais. "Put it right behind me. You sit where Tony was going to sit." Telly says, "You got it, boss." Goes and gets my card, puts it right behind. So Frank is like here, and I'm above him on the dais right behind, watching him. At one point, Tony Bennett comes out to sing. Frank sits down on the floor. The lights go down. I get a chance to ask him in a whisper, "Mr. Sinatra, I can't believe this is happening to me. Why are you doing this?" He said, "We're honoring your buddy singing in the rain." We were honoring him that night, and he had heard about my feeling, right?
Wow.
So then he said, "Just shut up. I'll tell you later." Well, I don't say a word. The whole event is over. I walk up. I'm about to say it. He says, Now ask me why I did this." I said, "Well, why did you do this?" I'm speechless. He said, "Tony, who's hosting tonight?" I said, "You are, sir." "Who is sitting directly behind me?" I said, "I am, sir." He said, "Where are everybody's eyes?" "On you, sir." "Are you within vision of their eyes because you're right behind me. I said, yes, sir. Who is the new kid on the block? I said, I am, sir. He said, well, welcome to show business. That's how we treat the new kid on the block.
Wow. Wow.
Isn't that a wow? Isn't that a wow?
Oh, man.
Isn't that a wow?
You know
Isn't
what?
that something?
Man, what stories you have. My God.
Oh, I've been blessed. I've been Chazz. I've been
My
blessed.
God.
Yeah, my God is right. And I sit back, Chazz, and I look back at my past, kicking that puddle that day. That night, we're paying tribute to the very guy who sang Singing in the Rain, Gene Kelly. I'm standing there with Sinatra. But then, little by while, I was to know that I had a breakdown. Where did I end up? In that man's apartment. For who? Elvis Presley. Why? Because it was in that apartment that I saw Elvis in trouble. How does this, when you look back on it, you go, oh my gosh, wow. And on top of it all, my daughter Jenny was cleaning out our storage unit, and she pulls out a letter, 1980. She was like this, Dad, here is an unopened letter from a guy named Francis Albert. I go, give me that letter right now. I open the letter, and Jen, do you think you can get it so I can read it to him?
Wow.
And I open the letter. It's from Frank, because in 1980, we used to co-host together fundraisers for UNLV.
That's right.
So he was the old man and the young kid. That's what he used to say all the time.
Right.
It was him and I. Well, I open this letter, and it's from Frank, and I'm going to read it to you. It's on Jenny's phone. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see that?
Yes, I see it.
Can you see on the
Yes,
bottom?
I see it.
You see where it says Francis Albert on the bottom?
I see that.
Okay, so here's the note. Dear Tony, hardly seems, I need my glasses, but hardly seems adequate for your wonderful contribution, which helped to make the UNLV benefit the success that it was. I appreciate you donating your precious time to this worthy cause. You were absolutely marvelous.
Wow.
I am most grateful, and I love you, Tony, for sharing the evening with us. Warmest regards, Francis Albert.
Francis Albert, yeah. Oh,
So-
wow.
So when I think about these things that happened to me, including meeting you, you're telling me that you wrote this story about your experience in the Bronx
Right.
before Bronx Tale ever happened.
Yes. Yes, yeah.
You know?
Well, you know what's. Yes, but I think about the people you met, and I was blessed, like I said, to meet Frank the last 5-6 years of his life. But did you know Dean Martin?
Oh, God, yes.
You did. God.
Oh, God, yes. In fact, when Dean cut Yellow Ribbon, if you go to YouTube, you can see Dean singing Yellow Ribbon. And who is he singing it to? Lucille Ball, who's in the audience. It's crazy.
Wow.
Frank cut Yellow Ribbon also. And I yelled at him for that one. Did I tell you that story? You mind?
No, please.
Because this is fun to share with a buddy like you.
No, this is like you are a history book. You are a treasure chest, and I want my fans to hear all this. You know,
Dean Martin was talked about my moves. He would say, Tony, he'd say, I like your moves. I said, what do you mean? He goes, I like the way you move, but you got to understand something. When you're in the movies and you're about to make a movie, I was about to make a movie. A Star is Born with Barbara Streisand. So he goes,
right?
remember that don't make the movie, don't make big moves. Because big moves be too much for the screen. Cut your moves back. He would sit there and talk about things like, don't wear a silver zipper on a black tuxedo because it'll look like your pants are open. I mean, stuff like this. He would do things.
Wow.
But Dean was, and of course, the 33 years I worked with Jerry, you know, I hosted New York Telethon with Jerry
Right.
for 33 years and had the honor of hosting his celebration of life funeral. And I remember sitting, I want everybody to hear this. Jerry's house, I'm sitting in his office, and he starts talking to an empty chair. And I go, what are you doing? He said, I'm talking to Dean. I said, Jerry, stop it. Come on. He said, no, you don't think I'm talking to Dean? Trust me when I tell you, Dean sits in that chair every day, and I talk to him every single day, Tony.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they had like this kind of, I guess, love-hate relationship. I don't know.
And funny enough, just talk about in the moment when Dean came out with Sinatra on the telethon, who do you think was the next act that came out?
You.
Me and the girls. Thelma and Joyce and I. It's nuts. I know, it's crazy. It's just
Now,
crazy.
do you ever see the two girls anymore?
Oh, yeah, we're like sister and brother.
Really?
Oh, God, yes.
Oh,
and you know,
that's wonderful.
Thelma's the longest running sitcom actress in history. Thelma Hopkins is the
Really?
longest. Oh, absolutely. She's gone from Bosom Buddies with Tom Hanks to Give Me a Break with Nell Carter to Family Matters for 15 years with that show as Aunt Rachel to
Yeah.
half and half, 5 years. Are We There Yet? 5 years. Dead
Jesus.
to Me, which is a big hit on Netflix,
Right.
and Matrix 4. She's done it all.
That's
And
fantastic.
she was the girl who said, shut your mouth, the Isaac Hayes on Shaft.
Wow. Now, you were pretty close with Freddie Prinze too, right?
He was like my younger brother. That's why I broke down. I watched him die in front of me, you know. And I never really gave an interview about Freddie, ever.
Did you know he was depressed?
Oh, sure. We all were.
But you didn't think he would do that, right?
I had a suspicion.
He really?
Yeah.
And he was at the top of his game when he did that, right?
And he was only in show business for 2.5 years. Just think of it. Think of the talent that this young man had.
It makes you scratch your head, you know? It's like, you know, wasted talent, man. Wasted talent. Just.
Well, you know, that was a big loss for me, Chazz.
I'm sure.
And to watch his family go through it. And he had just had a baby boy. His baby, young Freddie, had his 1 year birthday in my home. And
Wow.
he was already dead. Freddie had already passed away. Yeah.
Jesus God.
But all of
the ups and downs.
Yeah.
The ups and downs that you had, but you know what? The main thing is you're still here, bro.
Well, you know, in a lot of ways, his death saved my life.
Who saved your life?
I said his passing away, in a way, saved my life. Because I
Wow.
was doing drugs while he was doing drugs. I was doing cocaine when he was doing cocaine.
Wow, I see what you're
And
saying.
when he died, I went, I'm done. That's it. I'll never do this again. And I remember praying to God, giving to take Freddie in heaven, because he was such a good boy. He was such a good guy. Troubled, yes. You know, from Washington Heights, one New Yorker kid.
You think it was too much too soon?
Sure.
Yeah. People don't realize. See, you're very fortunate. When I really hit it big, I was older. I was 38. But if I was a young boy in my 20s, I don't know what I would have done. I'd be a has-been right now. You know, because
fame is a double-edged sword. It's a double-edged sword.
Oh,
Fame.
total double-edged sword. Even myself, who's been around, I was on Broadway before that. But when I really hit it really big, It was like, whoa, whoa. You know, it was like, all right, hold on here. It's a little unsettling. It is.
Yeah.
It
Well,
is.
fortunately, I remember when I told you I didn't care if I pulled the curtain at the theater. I just wanted to be in show
Right,
business.
right, right,
Fame wasn't very important to me,
right.
honestly, and still isn't. I never
Yes,
saw fame as the lead horse. It was
yeah, I
never my lead
agree.
horse. So
I agree.
therefore, it didn't have that blade.
Yeah,
It didn't have that side of the blade for me, because
yeah,
fame was something I didn't really go after. You know what I went after? Making people happy, Chaz. The only
yeah,
thing I cared about was just making
yeah.
people laugh and
I
have a
love.
good time.
I always loved the work, the art of it,
Yeah.
and I wanted people to. I wanted to just perform my art, and I was hoping that people would appreciate it. To me, fame was like, smell the bait, but don't swallow the hook. You
It's
know,
perfect.
you know what I mean? It's
That's
like you
perfect.
could smell fame, and it's great, but just don't make it everything.
That's right.
Don't, because
You
it'll
know what?
disappoint you.
One day, a guy walks up to me. We were in Vegas, me and the girls. We were working at that time at the Riviera. So it's 1974, 5.
Right.
And in comes this guy backstage. And he says, Tony, thank you for seeing me tonight. I have 4-stage cancer. He says, I just want you to know that's the greatest fucking show I ever saw to
Wow.
me. And I look at him and I said, wait a minute, wait a minute. You got 4-stage cancer and you're talking about my show. He said, Tony, this may be the last show I'll ever see. And I thought to myself, Chaz, numbers will probably tell us that there's always going to be somebody in that audience that is facing death, facing an accident that's coming their way they don't know about, facing a divorce, facing a death
Yeah.
in their family, something. So you better make it the best show they ever saw. And that's all I cared about. 4 years later, that same guy comes back to me. I don't recognize him. He said, Tony, do you remember me? I said, no, sir, I'm so sorry. He said, I walked up to you here at the Riviera Hotel and I told you I had 4-stage cancer. Oh, I do remember you. Are you okay? He says, I'm clean. I have no more cancer. And it's still the best fucking show I ever saw.
Wow.
And that made the difference for me, Chaz. Never again did I ever shut a show. Never again did I ever cancel a show. Never again did I ever take a show for granted.
Did you have dreams of being an actor, singer? How did this all happen?
Oh, Chaz, I'm a doo-wopper. I started under the lamppost, man. I was
From,
doing
from
Frankie
singing on the
Lyman.
lamppost.
I was singing Frankie Lyman and the Teenagers. I was doing, the Heartbeats, the Flamingos. I was dreaming about being in show business. Look, my first hit record, Chaz, I was 16. So not too far from that time, Under the Lamppost, did the first hit record come, Halfway to Paradise. And so that was still the doo-wop era, 61, still.
That was in the 50s, right?
50s and early 60s was still doo-wop. But I mean, Halfway to Paradise was 1961. And it was Carole King's first hit as a songwriter and my first hit as a performer, singer.
So wait a minute. So you were 16 when you had your first hit?
Yeah. Yeah.
When was Candida?
That was 12 years later.
12 years later. Okay.
Candida came in 70. No, Candida came 10 years later, 71. So 61, I started when I was 16. Had 2 hits. Halfway to Paradise, which went to #1. And then the follow-up was written by a guy who wrote You Lost That Love and Feeling, Somewhere Out There, Just Once. And he was the guy who sang Who Put the Bomb? Barry Mann. So the first writers, Chaz, that I had around me, check how good the Lord was to me, was Carole King, Jerry Goffin, her husband, legendary writers. Wow. They became. Right. Barry Mann, Cynthia Wilde, all 4 of them in the Hall of Fame. All 4 of them based on the music Beautiful, Carole King's Beautiful. That was my childhood. Absolutely.
I mean, people hope for a career. Your career spanned at what, 60 years?
64.
64 years doing what you love to do.
Yep. I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed.
I mean,
54 years headlining in Vegas. That's what blew my mind. Because Vegas came to me in 73 when we had Yellow Ribbon. So we had Candida, Knocked 3 Times, Gypsy Rose, Yellow Ribbon, Vegas. So from 1973, opening at the Riviera Hotel, till just recently at the South Point, a year and a half ago.
South Point, yeah.
Is where I retired. And Mohegan Sun is where the final retirement.
So you retired from touring?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm done.
You're done. Do you still perform anywhere?
Only if it comes down to doing something to raise money for veterans, I'm there.
God bless you, my friend.
I've been working for veterans, Chazz, since Yellow Ribbon came out in 1973. That song, Welcomed Home, Our Hostages from Iran.
I remember that.
From Desert Storm.
Yes.
Right? Right now, if you go to Jerusalem right now, Yellow ribbons are on every lamppost, on every car, and Netanyahu even changed the stoplights to amber lights to yellow ribbons. That's 50 plus years ago that song. And the writers that wrote it, they deserved. I was just a mailman that delivered the mail.
And who wrote that song?
Erwin Levine and Larry Brown. Yeah. Unbelievable. They are unbelievable. And they wrote a song called Marianne that you probably know very well because you're friends with Frankie Valli.
What was it?
Marianne.
Oh, yes. Could you raise that volume a little bit, please, John? That's fantastic.
Yeah.
God.
Do you know, I want to ask you a question. Can I ask you a
go
question?
ahead.
Okay. How old were you when you first wrote the play, the idea, the book?
When I first wrote the one-man show, A Bronx Tale? Yes.
No, when you first came to sell the story, Bronx Tale.
Well, actually, no. People don't realize I wrote the one-man show first.
Okay.
Then I wrote the screenplay and the book for A Bronx Tale. But the one-man show was first.
So
how old was I? I was 38. I was a writer before that and an actor, but obviously this was my big thing.
When did you write the story?
A Bronx Tale?
Yeah.
38.
That's when I met you.
Really?
Yeah.
I was 38 years old.
Yeah. That's when I met you. And it was just before you did anything happened in a big way. And you'd start to tell me and my wife about this incredible story that you finally gave to the world.
Yeah, I remember. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Now I'm remembering all of this. Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just an incredible, look, enough about me. It's you, baby, you. This is for you. And thank you. We're at the end here right now, and I'm just I admire you so much. You are an absolute treasure.
Oh, thank you.
And
you too.
No, thank you. You are an absolute treasure, and I just can't wait for people to hear these incredible stories. You've had an incredible career, and I still see a gleam in your eye. You know what? And seeing that gleam in your eye, that tells me the reason why you're still here. Because you're a good man, you're a good soul, and you're blessed, my friend, and you're blessed. And I can't wait for my audience to hear these incredible stories of Tony Orlando and Dawn. And let's give Dawn a shout out. What are the two girls' names?
Yeah, Thelma Hopkins and Joyce Vincent. Joyce Vincent is out with the Supremes, and Thelma you can still see on television.
Wow, and we gotta give them their props. And Tony Orlando and Dawn, God bless you. God bless your family.
Thank you.
Keep that gleam in your eyes, my friend. Keep that gleam, because I see it right here. Tony, thank you so much, and hope to see you again. God bless.
God bless you too, Chazz.